Update AITA for telling my husband that he works for himself, not for us. Original post. https www.reddit.com/r/AmITheAsshole/comments/19alexcu/AITA for telling my husband he works for himself. UTM source equals share in UTM medium equals web2x and context equals 3. Thank you for the feedback. In the last post the comments said that me asking him to adhere to the boundaries we established was reasonable. Some comments also suggested that I should not have implied that he works just to get away. So I was a little apologetic as well. After he came back I decided to talk to him about this. The conversation was a bit of a train wreck. I brought up the fact that our income far exceeds our current and projected expenses. That me and our son were missing him, and needed him to spend more time with us. And I made sure to stress that I appreciated all that he did. It just seemed like we were on completely different wavelengths. He said he kept on taking more lessons and students because he wanted us to have a good standard of living, have better vacations, better schools, a second house. I was dumbfounded. I never knew he felt that way. I stressed our current standard of living was great. We make enough money, and that if he thinks that way there's no end in sight. What if he decided we should also have a third house or something? Right now I needed him with me. At this point, I kind of lost control and started crying. I didn't mean to. It wasn't something I wanted to do to pressure him or anything. Just the fact that we were at an impasse was wrecking me. I told him I'd been feeling unhappy, that I kept compromising, and he reneged on it. After some more crying and consoling, my husband agreed that Sunday should have remained off limits. He gently asked me to give him a pass for one more Sunday, because his students' exams end next week, and he would make Sunday untouchable the following semester onwards. He also promised to try to resize his classes in order to be able to come back home for dinner even if it's late dinner. He asked for time to do all this. I've given it to him, and I know he loves us enough to do what he promised. Thanks for the feedback to the original post. #please find original here. I'm sorry, but that's not good enough. He'll try to be home for a late dinner? When you have a toddler and are currently expecting. So, he'll only be around one day a week realistically, since your toddler will be in bed and you will have a newborn. When do you get time for yourself? When do you get help, or from whom during the week when he doesn't get home until late? You are essentially a single parent even with these concessions. Please don't apologize for crying either. You have nothing to be sorry for. Crying is healthy and helps relieve the pressure valve of emotions you're going through. Anyone would cry in your situation because it's sad. I hope things work out for you. Best of luck. Yeah, he's stringing you along. He'll take a few Sundays off to appease you, and then he's going to start working them again. He has no real intention of stopping. How is this good enough? He's still working Sundays, and even if he wasn't, that's not enough. You work full-time too. So why are you still doing 100% of the housework and childcare so he can tutor and allegedly buy you a second house? I think you were right first. He just wants to work to get out of household responsibilities. Yup, I doubt it, but good luck. Girl, stand up. This man just walks all over you, and now you give him a free pass cause he can apparently make late dinners. Man, if you don't find some self-respect and really open your eyes that you are pretty much a single parent with an absent husband, this will just be a continuous cycle. Don't see this resolving, since you two aren't even on the same page. You need to tell him that he needs to get right with his family and you right now. Or he might be living in that third house alone. Play him "Cats in the Cradle" as background music. He can work all the hours and make all the money he wants. And he can write you a big, fat child support check so you can hire the help he fails to provide. You'll probably be happier without an absent spouse. Regular visitation with dad would also mean mom gets an occasional day off. I'm guessing you don't now, since he's never home. Hell, I'd leave for that last bit alone. A day off on which he's forced to parent his children. Nobody ever, on their deathbed, says that they regret not spending enough time at work, or that they regret not buying that second house. Lots say that they regret not spending enough time with their families. Nothing he said makes sense. Why on earth would he want a second house when he's checked out of the first one? He's going to be on his deathbed lamenting that he didn't spend enough time with his family. He's not going to be crying about that second house. But this is a choice he's making right now. I really want to know what is pushing your husband to do this. Does he have some sort of past trauma that gives him severe financial anxiety? Did he grow up in poverty? Or see his parents get destroyed by unexpected financial burdens like medical treatment? Or something like that? Does he have some sort of anxiety about fatherhood that's making him avoid being around your son? His behavior seems inexplicable if he doesn't have something like that going on. So I really wonder what the root of it is. Figuring that out may also help you make him see the light on why he's acting so unreasonable. As well. Emo. Take a step back and really dig into the finances. We have a friend whose husband did this. Always had side hustles. Always working. Said he was doing it for the kids and his wife. Blah blah blah. Nope. Turned out he was a degenerate gambler who was drowning in a sea of debts from casinos, sports betting and crypto. Dig into his spending habits. Dig into the savings. Make damn sure he isn't gambling, on drugs, hiding a girlfriend, an OF addiction, etc. And this is why communication is so important. His goals changed, but without him telling you that you're just left in the dark. It's okay if goals change, but instead of discussing it, he decided steamrolling over agreed upon boundaries was the way to go. He needs some therapy. Yikes, so things have not actually gotten any better. Hire a housekeeper, nanny that can help with cleaning, laundry, cooking, and childcare. You're going to need it because he is so checked out that you're already single parenting, and it's going to be even harder with a newborn. Also, you have the money for it, so you might as well buy yourself the support you need if your husband won't give it to you. One day on one's deathbed, what one will regret is not how much money he owned, but the time he missed spending with loved ones. Money won't buy time. I know you really want to believe he will change. I hope for your sake you're right. But, based on his need for more time, you should consider the possibility that he won't. I would encourage you to think about what'll do next if nothing changes. I would have left by that point. At this point you have agreed to his schedule modification. I don't see any real improvement for you or your children's life in the near future. You will have to either fight this battle again or accept this as how life will be. Sorry. I'm sorry that he's treating you like this. I am absolutely going through this same thing. My husband grew up with not much and he's a very hard worker. But he also likes nice things, and I get it, but I've told him that when he buys nice things he has to work harder to keep it. We've set aside certain days just for family time, but then it ends up he needs to work more. I try to explain him that he doesn't need all these things, especially if he doesn't have time to enjoy them. He has a boat we haven't been on in 2 years. A motorcycle we haven't rode on in a year. An excessive amount of tools, etc. I'm a very low-key person. I never ask my husband to pay for anything overly expensive just for me. He bought my car and I told him not to do it if he couldn't afford it. It's hard to get through to someone who is hell-bent on doing what they want.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.